So next step is bushes on sliding members. These are the stirrup bushes that go in. How does this assemble? This piece assembles in here and pivots like this. No, it doesn't. This way around. It goes on here and pivots like that. So this part is on the frame. This here is on the frame. And then the sliding member moves up and down like that. And these are held in with these fancy bolts here with multiple features. And we have varying amounts of wear here because all these parts came from different boxes, not from an same original bike. These bushes on this one, which is the later model sliding member, seem to be pretty good. There's very little play in these, and this bolt is also has very little wear on it. So we'll probably just polish this one up and use it as is. There's very little play. You do want a little bit of play for grease. So that one's fine. On this side though, we have very rattly bushes, and there's also quite a bit of scoring and wear on this shaft, so we may make a new one of these. What I'll do is put new bushes in here and see how it goes, because the new bushes will presumably be slightly less worn than those bushes, so I might have less play. There's a little bit of rattle in there, more than there is with this pen, but not much. So this may be salvageable, because it would be quite complicated to make one of these, but also fun. My supplier of aerial parts today is McMaster-Carr, because I decided not to try and make these bushes myself, because you can buy them off the shelf. These are oilite type, so they should be better for poorly lubed circumstances. These are 5/8 inside and 3/4 outside by 1 inch long, which matches what's in here, except the ones in here are 15/16, because they want to leave a gap in the middle for the grease passage. So we're going to turn these down 1/16 of an inch and press them in. First thing to do is to press these ones out, and then I'll make up a pressing doohickey so I can push these in without damaging them, which maybe that's not necessary, but we'll get these pushed out first on the arbor press. Okay, made myself up a little drift. It's slightly undersize for 5/8 and 3/4 on the two diameters, so I can use it to drift out the old ones and drift in the new ones. See how this goes. It moved. Move the first one. I'm just going to push out both at once here. There we go. That's working. That is all clear. And that's our old bush. And there's no retaining bits on those at all. So now we can verify the length. 15/16, so we have to take off 1/16 of an inch off our new ones. The outside diameter on the old ones is spot on 3/4 inch. The outside diameter on the new one is 2 thou over, which is to spec. The question is, what was my original internal bore? Was it undersize with standard on size bushings, or is the bushing just conformed over the I don't know, 70 years it's been in there? So let's see. Let's take a measurement. .756. No, that can't be right. Let's try that again. .7545. 7525. You know what? I think that hole may be slightly oval. Looks oval. .7535. So according to this measurement, these holes are bigger than the thing that went in that needed pressing out, and that makes no sense. So I obviously can't measure things worth a damn. But we'll give that a clean up and then push the new ones in after we do them. So I cleaned out the bore with alcohol. Pretty clear. Shortened these by 1/16 of an inch on the lathe. And what happens. And that's what I hoped wouldn't happen, is that that's tightened up in the bore, even though I gave it a few thou clearance. Bugger. Okay, that pulled right out with in the vise. So we'll just give that a little bit of rub with emery and make it a little bit less prone to do that. Maybe put some lubrication on it. Okay, so that's not all the way in. So I don't think this is actually necessary for pushing it in. I was worried that they would collapse in because they're so thin, but they're not actually that thin. They're pretty tough, and it's not that hard to press. So we should be able to just push it straight in without the gubbins. Bushes. Okay, so with that, they've clearly tightened up a little bit on entry. So if we can just polish this shaft up, we can probably just work that in there and make those bushes fit to the existing bore, to the existing shaft, and not have to make a new one. And just clean some of the roughness off it. So that worked out pretty good. I ran it in the lathe for a bit with the 400 emery, and that took off a lot of the ridging, so you can't feel any bumps when you rotate it in your finger. You can still feel that it's not quite even this way. The bump in the middle is the gap between the two bushings. So pressing in the new bushings, they are now slightly tight on dimension, but so this wouldn't even go in even though it was worn. So I've worked it a bit with some oil, and to the point where it does go in. There's a couple of minor tight spots, but those will find their own way, and I figure the striations on the shaft here will serve for as grease capture. So this may be very slightly bent, but it's definitely very minor play now in the hole, which when it's greased up will disappear. It's about as good as the other one now. This one rotates more freely, of course, because those bushes are worn in. These ones are still fresh, but it goes around pretty well, so happy with that. All of this stuff is now handed. I got one dot there, one dot there, goes in that way. It's slightly conical, but that's good. Now this here at the end is not a bearing surface, so I didn't work that surface because that goes in this register here. So this will go in. How does it go? It goes like that. No, it doesn't. It goes like that. And that goes in here. And then that thread tightens up. So that tightens up like that. And then this gap here is, there's knurled washers that go in there, which I believe are supposed to be 1/16 of an inch thick. I don't have those. But the idea is you tighten it up until those don't turn, and then you loosen it off a little bit until they just start to turn. And that way you've got no end play, but you've still got free movement. And that's also you get that same setup on the girder forks. So this is moving freely. I'm not feeling gross movement. There's a very slight amount of play. As I say, when that has some grease in it, it'll be better. Let's get the other one. I'm just going to polish this with a 1500 wet and dry. Yeah, so There's a little bit of wear on there, but at least there's no roughness. That way. Did I do that wrong? I did do that wrong. Shoot.